Jane?
I'm ready.
Okay. 응답하라 여친.
Go to the to the 실.
박 to the 경 to the chu. I have to start this way?
Mm-hmm.
I have to get this down. Maybe once.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. This is why I can't do those TikTok dances. It takes me. You are good at TikTok dances.
Oh, I don't think
you
so.
have to teach me one.
Okay, I'll teach you one. We could do the
one.
wop, wop, wop. That's like,
is that
popular right now?
Oh, I want to learn a popular dance. Okay.
Let's do it.
We got to talk about Korean news as of late has been not the best.
Disappointing.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Korean men. So, you know of the creator, Won Jung-man, better known as the Oh Mama boy, 55.4 million followers.
Insane.
Jay. They say he is the biggest TikTok star in Korea that grew from not being a celebrity, but truly just on TikTok. So he is the TikTok king of Korea. But
did you know who he was? I had no idea who
Oh,
he
you
was.
had no idea. How did you know?
After the news broke out.
Oh, so you...
I didn't know him prior.
I knew him.
Okay.
I follow... I don't know if I followed him, but his Oh Mama. And I was fascinated by how popular he was. And I saw when TikTok gave him an award for being a, I don't know, high achiever.
So you've seen the journey.
Yeah. His jokes started out very like Mr. Bean-like.
Yeah.
Like very like... And then you would see these like sexual innuendos.
I did see a few of his videos that
those started slipping in more and
Mm-hmm.
more, and I was like, that's kind of, because when you think he puts on this image, right? The whole oh mama is like that. He's so innocent.
Yes, very
everything
mimey.
Yes,
right.
Very caricature.
Yes.
And the whole like innocent Korean boy-like
cut look.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I didn't even, he looks like a boy.
Yeah.
So
I actually thought in the beginning he was gay.
Okay.
And nothing wrong with that. Obviously, I support LGBTQIA, but I thought he was maybe like, you know, in Korea, you're gay, but you don't actually say you're gay. You keep it. So, but then once I started seeing the sexual innuendo videos with like, particularly towards women's bodies, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It started to like, I started to get a little sus.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like an avid follower or anything.
Sure.
And then when the news broke out.
Were you surprised?
I was shocked. But then once you sit with it, you're not shocked. I mean, if you're a Korean woman, right? Like, you know, it takes you a minute, but you're like, this is how it is in Korea.
Yeah. And it's always a disappointing. There's a moment of shock, not necessarily surprise, but kind of like a disappointing. The
shock wears off quick.
Yeah.
Right? Because at first it's shocking, and then you're like, this is the underbelly of Korean men's behavior.
So let's talk about what he did, what he allegedly did.
Yeah. So it's very sinister because it wasn't just him. It was him and another male friend and a female that was apparently a friend of theirs. So like maybe not like besties, but they were acquaintances. Sure. They already knew each other. And the two guys took her out drinking and they kept making her drink. And you know, Korea is a drinking culture. Nobody would really bat an eye, really. But they kept forcing her to drink to the point that she completely passed out. And they had to carry her out of the bar that they were at. They selected, the two males selected a third friend's house, which they knew to be vacant, and took her there. And from there, with her still knocked unconscious, completely unconscious, they took turns. I was about to say graping because I'm so used to the TikTok, you know, but we can say it on our podcast, raping her, taking turns. And then she only woke up to like assess what had happened.
Sure. And she noticed that there had been recording going on, and she quickly figured out that both of them had violated her.
Can you imagine? Which, you know, this case, just like, and when you and I talked a little bit about it, completely like triggered Brock.
Yes.
Turner.
From several years ago.
Right.
2015, maybe 2016.
And he was, oh my God, that dude. He raped a woman that was completely unconscious outside of the frat house outside.
Right.
In plain outside. I mean, it was dark.
In public.
In public. In the freaking behind a dumpster. And people who happened to be walking by saw and had to pull him off. Like he was going at it. It took two men to pull his body off of this unconscious woman. But the fact that both of us immediately thought of Brock Turner was how bad.
Because I think there was, you know, reading after that case, it's like, how does somebody become like this? And Brock was, he was kind of like a big guy on campus.
Wasn't he Stanford or was it Stanford? Yeah, Stanford, right? Yeah. Big swimmer, big
athlete.
Yeah. Athlete.
A jock.
Jock, household name.
Yeah.
At the school.
And this guy, Wonjong, overnight celebrity.
Yeah, TikTok celebrity.
I think his awards came not too long ago.
No, like it's very recent. Yeah. And he only, and it was not too long ago he was making a TikTok with Jessie, K-pop stars.
Right.
But for someone of that status to behave the way he did, people are like, how could he have done this? Well, because this is the culture.
Yeah.
Like, so I went to Korea my college years, and we did go do the nightlife thing. And it is night and day how the men turn on. It's like daytime men are like, oh, they're like, you know, so Korean drama. Nighttime men and the nightlife, like, like, like they become, it's like Dr. Jekyll, you know, Hyde situation. They switch on and off, and their language becomes way more vulgar. I was like, wow. And
so you witnessed that firsthand.
Yeah. I remember going to like a club, and I was pulled in all direction to like, you know, meeting, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was, what is this? I knew that happened, but I didn't know that that's where we were going.
The contrast is so high because here in America, kind of, I mean, it can, when you get alcohol and nightlife, all of that, it can kick it up a notch. But the men are not overtly, you know, respectful or, you know what I mean? It's kind of, you kind of know.
What's better? 24/7 douchery or which you get?
But I think that's better.
Yeah, because you know what you expect.
Because it's a facade.
It's a complete
in the Korean
facade.
Culture where,
and he would, you know, this Wonjung man, oh mama, like he acts so.
And that makes it all the more icky for me. When I didn't know about who he was before all of this
I was very
out.
familiar
and
with his content.
When I went to his account, which is still active for whatever reason.
No, you're looking at the wrong account.
Oh, am I?
There's a dupe account that's grown so much that people think it's the original. So his original videos or original page.
No, I think I was looking at his page where the last one was back in July.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the original one.
I'm looking back and getting grossed.
Oh, you're okay. There's another account, a dupe account. People are so confused because they think he's making content right now, and it's like, it's really bad. They took a video of him laughing, watching something of his own news of him going to jail, and he's like, and I'm like, people are like, wait, is this happening?
Did they do that with deep fakes?
No. They took one of his old
They
videos.
stitched it.
Yeah,
They-
and
okay,
duetted a news clip of him
I
going
see, I
to
see.
say that he's in jail, whatever. But anyways, people are like all confused. Like, no,
Yeah.
he's still making content.
Mhm.
By the way, I'm sure you have a dupe.
I mean, maybe I've seen a couple, but yeah.
I mean,
I don't really.
Someone who just
Pay
creates a
attention.
fake. Yeah, you
Yeah.
do not.
Yeah.
You're really not even there. I mean, you make your video and you're like, I've got to go life. Same with me,
I'm there to scroll mindlessly and
Oh.
just be fly on the wall, but yeah.
but not. Yeah,
yeah.
So there's dupe accounts of
Mhm.
his that are growing, like
Yeah.
300,000. You know, I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
Anywho, but this is, I hate to say, okay, so not to the extreme comparison, but someone was asking me, we watched Singles Inferno, right?
Yes. And I had this thought in my head. Like,
So-
these men are turning it on for the camera.
Exactly.
They seem like great men, but what are they like when
Well-
you're with them in private? and
So
when the cameras are off?
people kept asking me, like, Minu. No, not Minu.
Mingyu?
Mingyu is such a green flag. Why don't you like Mingyu? Because I think it's an act. 그치? 안 그래?
You know, I hadn't gotten there because all the other guys were so mid. That
Oh.
Mingyu, I like the way he changes and is attentive to the
But do you
girls.
believe that he's really like that? Look,
Very,
a
very
man that
valid
looks
point.
that good.
Yes, very, very valid
Also,
point.
he's got a job where it's like super take charge.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I think? I think, and rightfully so, he acted very properly on the
Yes.
show.
Uh-huh.
He was such a green flag because his job is on the line. He has such a public job. If he was acting out in any sort of way,
He's
he
a
would,
representative of
Yeah.
the government,
yeah,
essentially.
he would immediately get canceled.
I
Do
agree
you
with you.
really believe a 6'3", broad-shouldered, good-looking
Yes.
face man would just be like,
We want to believe it.
I know.
I think all the women want to believe it, but when you put it that way, yeah. I mean,
So yeah, people are like, "Why don't you like Mingy?" I'm like, "Cause I just don't believe a grown
Yeah.
man of that good looks
Mhm.
has never encountered sitting in a tub with a hot chick
too good
and
to be
been
true.
and so flustered that he's shredding petals."
Yeah. And when we watched that, my husband and I, we said, no, because he's too akawo.
Oh!
Like, to go with Cutie, who kind of showed us all of her manipulative. It was not
공포
about
cutie. 공포 cutie. The last episode, no, second to last episode. Did you? You're
Yes.
caught up, right?
Yes.
When she all, wow, 무섭더라.
It
So
was,
scary.
yes,
She was like, 내가 가만히 있으라 그랬잖아.
Uh-huh.
It was like a Korean drama villain.
Really.
Cutie.
Truly.
And then they played the creepy music whenever, and
Yeah.
her head would never turn
Never.
to the camera. She's like,
Never.
I don't want the camera to see how angry my face looks
Yeah.
right now. So all you got was her grudge hair.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's hilarious that she that the mics are all around. Doesn't matter if she takes off her mic.
I
back.
know. And she's like, but then and Minu's like, 왜?
Uh-huh.
그래도 돼?
Uh-huh.
Like, can you do that?
Yeah.
And she's all like, 말 다 끝나지 않았어?
Uh-huh.
Aren't you done?
But she didn't even let Xiun come in and take him away when she said, "Can I talk to you?"
Oh yeah, I'm done,
girl, I
but
thought
not
you were
done for
done.
you to take
Yeah.
him.
Mm-mm.
Wow, she was legit scary.
I feel we read her correctly in the earlier episodes, and then she kind of surprised us when she's opening up, and then went back to
Oh,
of her
I
truer
no.
nature.
I always knew she was that bitch, but she was turning it up to get a chance on the island, and
Mhm.
but I was like, you know what? You're just playing,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and the hypocrisy,
Mhm.
the hypocrisy. You're
hypocrisy.
straddling two dudes.
Yes,
And
right.
you're really judging him. How can or 어떻게 like
What do
how?
you want him to do? Like, that's the nature of the show.
I know. 근데 she's doing it herself.
Yes.
너무 창피하지 않을까? Like no shame.
No, I think she doesn't see it. People like that, I feel they don't see that double standard.
Jane, I am impressed by how well you can process that part. Whenever I come to you and I'm like, can you believe someone did this? You're always like, yeah. Yeah, yep, I see it all the time. I'm like, huh? I've seen it all the time, but every time it fucking shocks
Yeah.
me. How are you so... I've
No,
come to you and
I
said,
don't know.
I can't believe this person turned their face
Yeah.
on and off, and you were like, oh, I believe it. How are you so experienced?
I'm watching that episode and I'm saying 그렇지, 그렇지. There it is. Like, of course.
I know I've told you stories. I'm like, oh, this creator turned out to be this, and I was shocked. And she was like, I could see that. It's the journalism in you. You are you're so even cute. You are never shocked when I tell you anything.
You know, I think maybe because I also reserve a part of myself
in
public
you
with other
protect
people.
it.
So I'm like, there's for sure for me, it's like you have to really get to know me to see my true self. And everybody else gets the reserved, right? So it doesn't shock me when that other under what lies underneath begins to show.
Meanwhile, I'm an open fucking book.
That's what I love about it.
What? Like, I can't even hold it in if I tried.
I think you're the opposite, where you're like that. And then my friends come and like, she's so down to earth. Ellen is so down to earth. I'm like, yeah, that's, what you see is what you get. But she also has a very 차분한 spirit about her, very calm. And that's what, you are a very calming presence, reassuring presence to me. Yeah.
I was like, I got confused. I was like, are you talking about you right now?
No, I'm
or
talking
are you talking
about
me?
I'm saying it's,
I think I let people let their guard down. Because once they see that I'm willing to be such an open, hot mess, they're like, oh, she's a dumpster fire. It's okay to let loose around her. But anyways, another news I heard, gosh, Korea is just, there's the war on drugs, there's a lot happening. Yeah. But apparently the industry, Hollywood industry, like tycoons, like the director of Parasite and big time A-listers are coming together after what happened to.
I saw that.
Yeah, and they're taking a stand to fight back against, so that this kind of thing never happens again.
So, I mean, I read that and ask, is that so revolutionary? I guess because there's never been some kind of public, like a collective coming together in that public way.
I was also thinking, one, is it revolutionary? Two, so is that about protecting the image? Because like when you say that, do you mean my issue with that is, I mean, this scandal really, I think the police released all their shit because they were getting so much backlash of coming after this revered actor. Yeah. And they felt like, listen, we're not just going after somebody. I mean, I just wonder if that collective coming together is more like, because let's go back to what we talked about before. Yeah. Where were these people when they were, when he needed them the most?
Right. When he was
struggling.
Exactly.
Like he had to borrow money from all these randos or like the assistant, whatever. Why didn't you go to him then?
Right.
And say, hey, like, what do you need?
Right.
Let me help you in this. Nobody went and did that.
Yeah. On the one hand, it's like these people who have power and platforms coming together and saying, okay, we can call for action and take action. On the other hand, it feels a little bit like
protect our own
tracking.
Yeah. Because isn't that the real issue, that you protected an image so much that when the reality surfaced, the disparity between that gap is what made the outrage.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think like we need to be more real about, like you and I talked about, like stop putting people on these pedestals. Yeah.
And to contrast that with Wonjung, he's a regular dude that found success. So there's a huge, sure, he has an agency, right? Like a TikTok talent
Yeah,
agency.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think they've said anything, but it'll be interesting to see how that pans out because he's a guy who didn't have that.
He
a
literally
very
was
short,
like stumbled
very
onto TikTok. Yeah.
lived celebrity status.
And there's, this outrage, like 7 years isn't enough. If he could get 7 years, I'd be very happy with
Right?
that because Brock Turner, 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, and that was an outrage. I
Like,
mean,
So-
and that was like in public, caught. There's witnesses.
yeah.
But this one is Wonjung's case is
Kind of the
essentially
woman's
her
word
against his word.
Hopefully there were witnesses at the bar that saw her completely passed out. But how is she going to prove it, right?
But I also read that that's not necessarily enough evidence
Exactly.
to prove rape
And-
or to get that conviction.
Right.
Because
that's what we always see.
Yeah.
In Korean, see, people get outraged at 1st and they don't follow the case. And when it actually goes to trial, they never get time. They always get out somehow. I remember, I'm going to get flack for this, but Kim Hyun-jung, the guy from Boys Over Flowers, he beat his girlfriend. I remember there were x-rays proving she had like fractured ribs.
Yeah.
And she's still the villain of that story because they trashed her afterwards. Like, well, she was trying to get money. I was like, for the actions he did, So, and then people coming on, I covered the Wonjung story and people were like, oh, wait to see what happens in court. You believe in the Korean court system?
Right.
This
Right.
country
that
is...
they're going to protect the woman. Yeah.
Korean misogyny is built into that system.
We've seen it time. I mean, it's nothing new for us.
Yeah.
When what's his name? Kim Seon-ho was
Who's Kim Seon-ho?
Kim Seon-ho, the Korean actor.
Oh, okay.
Right? He was accused of making his girlfriend at the time, being abusive to his girlfriend and then made her have an abortion and all of that. And the conversation flipped to villainize her.
Is that
he
the
was
guy
so
from Cha-Cha?
revered. Yes. Hometown
Yeah.
Cha-Cha-Cha.
And he got his career back from...
Yeah.
And the way they flipped the script on her. I mean, there are people who genuinely like, oh no, that was all her
We can't
fault.
believe. I mean, people who don't know him, that's not even believable that he would do that because he's such a, where do they know him from? They just know him as this
from the dramas.
character.
And then
Characters that
and then
are written.
right.
Yeah.
And then the test and all that it took to flip the story to villainize her was his friends
Yeah.
writing testimonies of his character. That's all it takes?
Yeah.
You don't think there's money involved in getting these testimonies from friends? That's all it took. No
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
The fact was that she got pregnant and she got pressured
Yeah.
into having an abortion because it wasn't great for his career. Oh, I got all heated. 짜증나. 짜증. What's the English word for 짜증, Jane?
What is it?
Oh, you know what? That's where English language falls short.
It falls
Because
short.
짜증 really sounds like like you're grinding my gears
Yes,
right now.
yes.
Like there's so much sound effect to like also 느끼해.
느끼해.
Ugh, like
queasy,
that's
nauseous.
ick.
Yeah.
That's the Korean word for
Yeah.
you're giving me the ick. 느끼해. But it actually sounds like you're gonna throw up.
Yeah.
That's why we're so good in our
And
language.
느끼해 can be for so many things.
So many
Yeah.
things. And it's all how you say it.
It is.
느끼해. That's like, that's a little annoying.
Yeah.
느끼해. It's like, like guttural, bodily, like, bleh,
Yeah.
But
Oh man.
I don't know. I mean, who do we trust?
I
No
think you have-
man.
Yeah.
Especially not a Korean man.
I think nobody with a public profile.
Yeah. Do this is why I think this question is our producer flopping around. Like he looked like the Little Mermaid that had just found He's so cute. He's all like, nobody can see me, but we're like, we can see you. Anyway, he's adorable. A shout out to Blake, our producer, who crawls around.
It's like our kids who think we don't see them when they're, coming out outside
Am I
of their...
supposed to carry
they come
on like
downstairs
all
at night.
this thumping and you're... It's not, and he's also wearing bright blue, so you're like, I love it. I love that for us. But I want to ask you, because I think about this all the time, even though I don't think it applies to me. On any day, you could break out into the next big TikTok superstardom, Jane. I mean, you're already, what? You're at 3.5. You always correct me. 3.4? 3.4. Okay. I always say 3.5, even though and then you're always like,
no,
3.4.
Actually, it used to be. But because my content is so, it just, people keep falling off. And,
oh my gosh, shut up.
Truly.
When I think about this, I do not covet fame.
Not at all.
Or celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
You
and
see
I
how
have
it goes.
To keep reminding myself of that.
I do remind myself.
Yeah.
Don't covet this.
Don't covet it.
Because look at how.
But we're only human,
right?
So
I have to manage it.
At least once a week, I look at other people doing stuff and think I need to be doing more, or I need.
But
to
for
be,
what?
I know.
For what?
I know. That's why I'm so thankful for this.
Yeah.
Because it's a right setting, and
I always tell you, because you live such a full life, and I mean, I've already said this to you before, but the way you advocate for your daughter, your love, you're so invested in your children and your marriage, you're all in. You're very active in your real life. And that's why I look up to you.
Yeah. Well, so are you. So are you.
I feel more like I'm just surviving.
No.
Like I mean, but I do make a conscious choice. I do believe that. I do. I look at,
your kids are thriving.
My kids
Gavin,
really are.
First clarinet. Does he play clarinet or violin?
Viola.
First viola in orchestra, and you didn't even know. He didn't even tell you.
I didn't know. I'm the funny thing is, I'm the no pressure parent.
And that's wonderful.
I really genuinely want him to do things that make him happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so fucking thankful, Jane. He puts the pressure on himself. He likes getting all A's for himself.
You're what moms aspire to do, but they can't because they will always put the pressure on and try to have a hand in it. And you're kind of like, you figured it out. No.
It's because I can barely pressure myself. I usually, do you know how many times I had to tell myself today's Thursday? And I have to be here?
Yeah.
Like, it takes every, energy that I have to get me here, let alone be in charge of another human beings in that way. Of course I make sure he's fed.
Sure.
I want to make sure he's happy.
Yeah.
But keep it simple.
Yeah.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Kiss.
Well, this started out very sober and ended on a light note, which I'm thankful for.
Oh, I thought you were going to break out a glass of champagne for me. Oh, you got me excited. I thought you were going Ben on me. Ben would. Your husband would pour me a drink at this.
Yes, I'm sure he would.
And on that note, I think we can wrap it up.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
응답하라 여친!